So in this video, we're going to be continuing our series where I look at old art of mine from the channel and roast it. This one's going to be a bit tough because I do still really like this one. I always say that you're never above critique, and I think that even with the pieces that you really like, critique is still necessary to improve. Right off the bat, I think like the anatomy of the boy himself, I think, like, I drew the arms in a way that kind of hints at muscles. Is that technically incorrect? No, but I would have stylized that a little bit more. I would have rounded it out a bit more. Make not only his arms a little bit chubbier, but also like maybe like his stomach area as well. I drew him quite thin. I think like I should have filled out that area a little bit more, drawn more of almost like a stomach pouch, give him more of that baby fat back in there to really accentuate that this is like a child. There's a lot of tiny anatomical things that I think I would have changed. This is another stream where I also chose to work with very clean line work. I think that's fine. It's a sea creature. It's not like it's fuzzy or anything. It's very, very, very slimy, very slicked. So it's not like it's anything crazy that I think would require rough line work like a bird or something. I do think that I overlined the hair. I think that there's too much going on with that hair. Where the rest of the body is very simple, there's not a lot of line, like, detail within the rest of the body, and I think I went just a little bit overboard with lining the hair. I probably could have simplified it more, which would help unify the design as a whole. Because the lines themselves are not very complicated. Like, if you look at the completed line art of the entire boy, it's very, very simple. Like, the second least simple section is the little suctions on the bottom of the tentacle. But even that, it doesn't really balance out that hair. That hair is just way too large. I think I would have shrunk that down a bit more. It's a bit too poofy. I do like the poofy look, but like the ratio is a bit too large.
If you'd like to support the channel and the creation of free arts education, become a member on Patreon.
Oh, this is a section that bothers me, the ear. The ear that flaps over his face. That ear bothers me. The way that that ear folds. It's like I have it like up at the top of the head. And I think I realized that while I was illustrating, and it almost looks like it's flopping down from the hair, and that's incorrect. Because it's on the other side, it's coming from where the ear should be coming from. But on this side, on the right, the side where the ear is flapping towards us, it looks like it's coming from the top of the head, and that's super incorrect. But yeah, I think I noticed this, and I was like, oh shoot, well, it's too late to change it now. Like, if you look at the Dumbo octopus itself, that ear is very translucent. So I was like, I should probably imitate that. And then I realized what I did. You know? I will live with what I've done. And because I had extra time, I decided to put this character in an actual background. Like, make the background quote-unquote visible and have the lights aimed directly at him, like it was in the video that I was referencing, where a bright light was aimed at that little Dumbo octopus and it covered its face because he was a little shy. And I was like, I want to make that similar to this. So a lot of the shadows here are replicating that. I do think I could have done better with pointing out the light source. There are a couple spots here where I'm like, it doesn't look that great, and I'm like, I probably could have done a lot better in terms of like aiming the shadows forward. I would say definitely on the hand that's closer to the body, there should be more shadow on that. Probably should have added some shadow onto the ear and the back, the one on the left. Maybe a higher shadow on the little Dumbo octopus that's on the boy, because there's a bit of a shadow on the top of his shoulders, so there should be a bit of a shadow behind the little Dumbo octopus, but you know. Or also should have been a larger cast shadow behind the Dumbo octopus. It's a bit small, all things considered. I can't really critique the... Well, I mean, I can. I could say that I dislike this background, but I definitely would have changed that background overall as well, because it does look very rushed and very unfinished. I probably could have done a lot more in that regard. Every artist is going to hate some of their work, no matter what, but what's important is that you don't get stuck on being perfect. You need to get the bad art out so that you can make good art later. Critique is super important for artistic growth and is a big part of our teaching method here at Wing Canvas, so don't be afraid to ask for second opinions. Join a virtual class to learn live from our professional artists. Get creative assignments, individual guidance, and real-time feedback on your artwork. Start today and level up your practice. If you learned something new, like and share this with a fellow art nerd. If you love receiving quality and free arts education, subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, here's a couple other videos you can check out next.